I thought about a lot of things, and what I really wanted to talk about in my first video that I was going to put out. And, I mulled over different political things and, a bunch of different stuff. But really, I think what I want to talk about, and this is going to kind of turn into a series because I want to make these videos, shorter. But the first thing that I really want to talk about is worldview, because everybody has one, and it's the foundation of who we are individually, and how we were taught growing up, and just the different things that we've experienced for ourselves. And so worldview, the definition of worldview is a particular philosophy or conception of the world. And so you have to, in any social interaction, and the people who usually succeed in life are able to empathize with other people's worldview. And our society has gone very far away from that, and a lot of people are stubborn now and cannot see other people's worldview or where they came from, and so, which is a lot of the reasons that we have a lot of the problems that we have. And that's really why I wanted to talk about this right off the bat. But worldview is tainted by many different things. Whether you want to admit it or not, most people have prejudices towards different things. It doesn't necessarily have to be race or sex. It's just prejudices towards a number of different things. You can be prejudiced to pretty much anything in the world. And fears, if you're afraid, preferences, and then your experiences, all those things will taint your worldview. And so our biggest problem in the world right now is that we cannot understand that not everybody thinks the same way that that you do. And and it's a hard thing to condition yourself to do, is to put yourself in someone else's shoes and say, hey, those people, they haven't gone through the same things I've been through, and I haven't been through the same things they've been through. Let's talk about it and learn from each other and move on from there. And people cannot do that nowadays. From politics to just regular social interactions. And so and there are so many different variations on subjects that you can go into with worldview. You can go into just morals, which is, I'm going to go into that probably in a later video. And then you can go into religions, because your worldview is very much founded on what you believe and in your religion. And so because they teach you your moral values, or the moral values you're supposed to uphold. And so, but every worldview has to argue with truth, and then there are 4 things that every worldview has to define. And those 4 things are origin, meaning, there are a few others. I think I have it right here in front of me. Origin, meaning, morality, and then destiny. And so origin, where did we come from? Meaning, what am I on this earth for? Morality, what accounts for the human condition and how we interact with each other. And then destiny, where are we going? And a lot of the great, or I say great, but a lot of the big apologists, people who defend faiths, these are the 4 things, the questions that you have to ask other religions when you're defending your own. And so those are 4 things that every religion has to answer. And then you also get into the aspect of truth, because relative truth or absolute truth. And that has the big thing to do with worldview as well, because you can't have relative truth. It's really a contradictory statement. It's impossible to have relative truth, because then the word truth wouldn't even be, it wouldn't be around if it was relative. If you say that you believe in relative truth, is that true? You know, is relative truth true? And if relative truth is true, then you know it's self-defeating argument. And so really what I want to explore whenever I start getting into this little series is different people's truths, you know, and what different avenues of truth people believe. But really I want to get it down and boil it down through, you know, a hard concrete evidence as to what is the truth. And I've gone through this, you know, in different little with different people and stuff as far as like kind of teaching it. But you know, so truth can't be relative, and so really what is true? And that's really what I want to explore in these next couple videos that I'm gonna put out. It could be 3 videos, it could be 6 videos, because I want to try and keep these videos short so they're convenient. But there are 3 main worldviews, and I'm probably going to end this video after I go through these. And those 3 main worldviews are naturalism, which encompasses atheism and secular humanism, nihilism, those sorts of worldviews. And they believe in no God, absolutely, you know, basically the world just happened. And then you have pantheism, which is many gods. That could encompass, you know, Buddhism, even though they aren't really like they don't believe in gods, but they believe in, you know, everything is God, so it's considered a pantheistic religion, as well as Hinduism. As far as like real pantheistic beliefs, as far as like what the Greeks believed, and then what you know, like Mesopotamia believed, you know, those things where it was a plurality of gods, and there were many gods, and each of them had their specific reign. There really aren't many of those anymore, but when you get into pantheism, what, you know, we consider pantheism now, it's more so like Buddhism, Hinduism, New Age, and those sorts of things. And then there's theistic beliefs and the belief in one God. And so, you know, it's really just a bunch of spin-offs of Christianity. You have Islam, and then you have, you know, Jewish beliefs, Catholic, and then Christianity. And so those are all things that I want to explore. Like I said, I want to keep these videos short, but stay tuned. And just, you know, watch out, because really what I really want to get across in this video is, you know, worldview. Be empathetic towards other people. Just figure out, you know, what they believe. Don't just assume. You know, when someone says I'm a Christian, or when somebody says I'm a Muslim, or when someone says I'm a Buddhist, you know, don't just put them in the box, you know, the stereotypical box that you usually do. Find out, because people are not defined by their religion. They're defined by who they are, and the only way to figure that out is through relationship. And so just, you know, be kind, and, you know, just be uplifting to other people, regardless if you don't agree with what they believe. And I'm not trying to preach peace and harmony and all these things, but really what I'm trying to say is just be empathetic and understand. Put yourself in someone else's shoes and say, why are they acting this way? Or why, you know, if they're acting in a way that you don't understand, why do they do things this way? You know, those things can't be defined by religion. They're defined by who the person is and what they've been through. And so, you know, the best thing to do is, you know, don't just look at somebody and, you know, give them the weird look, like, what in the world is that person doing? Why do they look that way? Try and understand the person, because people are not one-dimensional. People are very multi-dimensional, and so just understand the person. And I know this video is a pretty shallow video. I'm not getting into a whole lot, but this is really just introductory to what I'm going to get into in the next couple of videos. And I'll really start diving into the first thing I'm going to dive into is atheism, secular humanism, and you know, those just really what they mean. And I'm going to dive into those and really give, a true definition as far as, and not just a one-dimensional definition, but a multi-dimensional definition of these people, because a lot of, like I said, you have to explain worldview and you have to define worldview before you get into these other things. People, it's not just, there's a reason people believe what they believe, and so try and understand the person and don't just take what they say that they're an atheist, or they say that they're Muslim, don't just, or a Christian, don't just, take those things and automatically put them in a box. And so, there's reasons people believe the things that they believe. And so really dig. I want to encourage you to, just make relationship with people, and, just learn people, and don't just, judge somebody off of what they say that they believe. But like I said just a second ago, just stay tuned. If you like this video, like it, share it, try and get the word out. I'm really just trying to get this up and going. I don't know where it's going to go. It may take off, it may not. If it doesn't, I'm still going to produce videos because I enjoy doing this kind of stuff. I love talking about this kind of stuff. And, just drop your comments, what you think. And I guess that's all.